Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Obviously a sequel to the original Shazam movie that came out a couple years ago. DC movie. Mm-hmm. The only DC movie from this month, which after watching this movie, probably a good thing. You already gave your out-of-theater reaction. You mentioned quite a few things. One of the biggest things that, after watching this movie for me is that this is definitely a family
very
movie.
Family. It's very good family fun.
Yeah.
Good family fun movie. I expected us to take a step that wasn't taken here in terms of the maturity of the movie. They definitely chose to stay firmly within the PG-13 preteen kind of demographic for this movie, which I mean is not a disqualifier from being a good movie, but it's felt at certain moments in some of the humor and some of the timing of the jokes and things of that nature. So even with some of the stakes, it never really felt well. Early on in the movie, the stakes felt pretty light, and then they attempt to do something towards the end to try to boost it up. Spoilers, by the way, it's pretty obvious to say, but most of the time it just kind of felt like everything that was going on was pretty inconsequential.
Sure. So you kind of mentioned the stakes being high, at least towards the end. So I guess, we got to reference the fact that Lucy Liu and the other actresses playing the gods, I guess, in this case. Helen Mirren, and do you know what the other one's name is?
I have no clue.
Are
talking about Freddie's girlfriend?
Yes.
Was Freddie ultra annoying to you this movie? Like, I found Freddie to be an endearing character in the first movie. He had just enough spunk to him. The comedy was well timed. He was just kind of like the comedic relief to Shazam. To Shazam. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time saying Shazam today.
In some cases he seemed annoying. Things like taking the interview, and
it was clear that they were trying to take a step forward with the character in this movie.
Yeah.
But it was very annoying. And most of the dialogue with him in it was pretty cringy.
The relationship part of it didn't really annoy me. So then literally everything else involving that character.
I didn't mind that he was trying to find a girlfriend. It was just like...
But everything else was kind of like, all right.
Some guys have that quirky type of charm, that corny charm that girls like. Some guys are just actually corny. Like, it's like, oh, that was a bad joke, but it's actually bad. Some jokes are bad because they're fun. They're so bad it's funny. No, his jokes were just bad.
Yeah.
It was just like, ooh.
Yeah, no. Yeah, for him, the time that he was with Djimon Honsou's character and the wizard, and literally everything else besides like
that
him building a relationship
pissed me off. That entire conversation pissed me off.
Yeah, literally everything besides him building a relationship with the one girl was kind of annoying.
And then he was repeating the actual joke itself with a lot of people. He said something. Oh, you don't have to say that. I mean, he did that with a few different people, and it just kind of felt a little bit running to the ground, just a little bit.
I'm gonna be honest with you. So did Shazam's character.
The quick quip response,
and that reads as teenage sarcasm, awkward teenage sarcasm.
Yeah.
So I guess I get it, but that's kind of what gave it the feel of this is just a family film.
Yeah.
As opposed to a superhero movie.
And I think they got a little confused as to when to bring that stuff out. It's like when Billy Batson was Billy Batson, he was so focused on being this leader and organizing the team and letting everybody know that he was deserving of the powers that he got. And then when he was Shazam, he was the biggest child in the room, and that's including the theater. And it was like he couldn't find a way to be serious when he needed to be, but then was ultra serious in times where everybody wanted him to just relax.
Thank you.
It's like,
thank you. Yeah, it was just like, I understand your motive of wanting to keep everybody together because you're a foster kid and you want your family to stay together. I totally can understand that, but stop being so extra about it. It's kind of what I felt, at least when it came to all the stupid little meetings he was trying to have and just everything about it.
It was like the first movie was about Billy getting his new toy, his powers being introduced. How does he use them? And then it kind of became, oh, well, now Billy has to share his toys. And this movie is, okay, now Billy's about to lose all his toys. What does he do? Mm-hmm. And it was mostly a tantrum.
Okay, so since we talked about Billy Batson and Freddy, literally the rest of the heroes got nothing. With the exception of Homeboy coming out.
Homegirl went to college.
Which was barely talked about.
A functioning alcoholic because she's still at home with her family.
And
she wants to be young, wild, and free.
Sure.
We got Darla, who, I guess there's only so much you can do because she's like 8.
She is the Ashley of this movie.
And she's like 8. There's only so much you can do that makes sense for the movie. Still didn't like where it ended up. But, it made looking at Meagan Good a little awkward. It's like, damn, she look good in the tights, but she's 8.
The actor's not 8, so I think you can. Hey,
but she talking like she is.
But I think you can look at the actress and be like, "That's."
You went to the eye doctor? No, stop talking like that. Don't do that. Just talk normal for a second.
Sure.
Try to be an adult. Pretend to be an adult, Darla.
Yeah, I guess given the context, it's a little weird, but she is the actress. And
so that's Darla. And then we had, I don't remember the brother's name, so forgive me, but we had Asian homeboy.
Who didn't get anything.
Super smart guy, which, no development there. We had the Hispanic homeboy
who was bad at dodgeball and is gay.
Yeah, we seen he was gay in the very beginning of the movie. He disappears for 2.5 hours just to scream, "I'm gay." In the third act. And then disappears again.
Oh, man.
And disappears again. Because, everybody in the house treats it like they should treat it and just minds their business.
Yeah.
So it's like...
It's not that big of a deal in 2023.
Yeah. I always thought it was going to be a problem with trying to flesh out all these characters equally. Number one, shouldn't be trying to do that in the first place. It's a Shazam movie, right? Number two, there's too many of them. There's too goddamn many of them.
Since you said that, Billy Batson's portion of it seemed secondary to Freddy's.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Freddy felt like the lead at certain points in this movie. Yeah. He was actually driving the plot forward for most of the first act of the movie.
Yep.
He's the one who meets one of the sisters of Atlas, or the daughters of Atlas, right? They approach him first in his Shazam form to try to take he's the first one to lose his powers, right? He's the one driving the plot forward, not Billy. Billy's out too busy trying to make sure his friends don't leave.
And chasing Wonder Woman in his dreams. Is that a good segue?
Funny. That was hella funny. Okay. I actually thought the Wonder Woman stuff was funny. Until it wasn't.
Until the end.
Yeah, until it wasn't.
It was funny that you don't get to actually see her, and then when you do see her from the front, it's the wizard.
Because when we're talking about a teenage boy fantasizing about a 1,000-year-old woman, it's reasonable, and it's also kind of, I won't say cute, but that's what y'all would call it. Oh, that's cute, right? All right. Also, same thing with Freddy. We starting to get into some weird shit now that we know that this is a 6,000-year-old woman. Starting to get a little awkward, and this man still ain't like legal,
Yeah.
Right? But it's okay. They haven't really done anything that hasn't gotten too nasty. But then, well, never mind. I don't want to skip all the way to the end and explain why the joke was problematic. But we'll come back to that one. Just put a pin in it. It gets problematic.
Sure. At first, it seemed Helen Mirren's character was the head of the gods, but then
that was
blurred
a weird
lines.
Switch to me.
Blurred lines.
That was a weird switch to me because our antagonist was clearly defined at the beginning and through most of the second act as well. But once they repaired the staff, they got the powers back, and they decided that they weren't going to revive their own home, their own realm, and just bring that ancient tree thing. They're going to bring it to Earth. The antagonist became Lucy Liu's character, right? Which was an odd switch
because there's nothing that sets that up.
Because okay, here's what we got. Right, we've got Billy Batson and his whole arc of coming to an understanding that he's not always going to have his family around. He needs to find a way to let them, go out and do what they want to do and still feel connected, still feel whole. And then you have on the other side with the villains, you have the whole, plot to try to restore their home. and there's 3 of them over there, and we got 5 of them over here. We got a couple side plots over here. We got a couple side plots on their side with Freddy, right? And then everything Lucy Liu's got going on with her fucking dragon. Oh, we're going to make all of this work and still have a defined, good versus bad. Even though everybody still has these underdeveloped reasonings as to what they're doing and what's going on with their characters.
Severely underdeveloped.
So it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's trying to pay attention to the dazzling light show.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's, look over here, over here. Oh, no, over here, over here, over here, over here. There is absolutely no focus to this script. It's all over the place. And so what I think they could have done, right, is shrunk everything down. Let's not do so much of the Shazam kids things and just focus on Billy. Cool, you set the premise. Everybody's trying to branch out and leave and do their own thing. That gives us an excuse for them not to be there most of the movie. Right? Same thing, and then they show back up when you need them. Same thing with the 3 sisters. Did we need 3 of them? Did we need 3? Maybe 2. So you have one to entertain this whole Freddy thing, right? So they can have some connective tissue back to the Shazam family.
And then Helen Mirren stays the actual villain.
Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu's character felt redundant to me. It was like Helen Mirren took us to a certain point, and then we dropped off with her, and now we're going to carry on with Lucy Liu because she's the bigger bad. Well, where was that established going through all of this? When was that established that she was more powerful, that she was setting up to try to backdoor her sister or anything like that? Like, that wasn't established.
None of that was established.
Yeah.
Also, I think what could have changed everything is you could have even kept the Freddy thing as a relation, or, them in a relationship or whatever. Billy Batson loses his powers and ends up with the wizard. Because
instead of Freddy,
now he's alone, so he can't keep everybody together. And then from there, everything that happens to Freddy actually happens to Billy. Boom. That feels a little. And then you got to fix the antagonist, but at least as far as their side of things, I think that makes a little bit more sense and keeps it a Billy Batson story.
Also, another instance of a superhero movie and a superhero universe where there's this big giant dome taking over a large part of a major city and no other superheroes show up. There's a giant dome over Philadelphia and there are monsters and creatures exploding things inside of it. There's somebody out there, right? Kabam? He's out there, right? He's got it.
Well, Wonder Woman showed up.
What? Well, no, she didn't show up.
She showed up at the end.
She literally let the city be destroyed. Yeah. Yep. She let a dragon run loose in Philadelphia. Let Billy die.
Yeah, and then she showed up.
Okay, so besides the obvious BS of all of that, right? Here's where I'm confused. Because I was pretty sure that Shazam was going to be one of the movies that didn't carry over into the new DC universe. I don't know that now. I'm confused. Number one, I felt like right then when they killed Billy, I was like, no, they didn't. I literally said that in the theater. I was like, no, they did not. Really? Because I didn't think that they would take a risk like that, a step like that, and really put some real life circumstances onto what it would make me feel differently about the action that I saw in the movie if I knew that Billy died in the end of it. Because I was having trouble with making it real for myself, like making feel like we were in actual danger. But then when Billy dies, it made everything real in that moment. But then you completely reversed it, and it was stupid the way that you did it.
Yeah.
Here's why
we need a god.
I'm confused
Here's
about
Wonder Woman.
why it's gonna carry over, or whether or not it is gonna carry over. You would think by the extra, I always call it the extra credit scene, the after credit scene, right, where the Peacemaker recruiter folks show up, and they're putting together a Justice Society, that maybe he survives, but then Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman was in it, which I didn't think that she was going to be Wonder Woman since Wonder Woman 3 got canceled.
Right.
So I'm confused here. Like, part of it is definitely connective tissue, like they said, to the Justice Society and trying to get that all started up. With a extra credit scene that has brought in other titles. And then if this stays, What keeps Black Adam from being part of this? Literally, what happened in Black Adam that would make this Shazam adaptable into the new universe, but not Black Adam? Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Can't.
What happened in this movie that didn't happen in Shazam? We had a major cameo at the end that doesn't really make sense because where the fuck were you for the hour and a half before this?
You have the Justice Society.
Yeah, the Justice Society. You have the characters, the blonde chick and the big guy with the beard who keep popping up at the end of all these superhero movies to connect stuff. If those people, those two, the recruiters, pop up in Blue Beetle or Flash, I don't know.
Sure.
I'm not gonna know what the hell to think.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna know what the hell to think.
Unless they end that in Flash. But then why did you put that in?
Yeah, why would we be talking about building the Justice Society still? But, neither here nor there. Parting thought. I absolutely understand why The Rock didn't want to have a battle with Billy Batson.
Literally verbatim what you said in the short.
Yeah.
Parting thought. What I totally understand. I just thought that was funny.
They're not doing anything serious with him. The Rock is trying to go in a serious direction with this character. If they were pushing Billy Batson towards being the Titan badass that he ends up being as Captain Marvel, okay, maybe we could end up somewhere. But as long as he's this annoying teenager with a movie who can't be bothered to be serious for more than 5 minutes at a time, no, because you would never have Superman fight him, would you? You'd never have Batman versus Shazam. For good reason. I want to be one of those characters, not the afterthought. Now, there's some logic to the idea that Black Adam somehow legitimizes Shazam, but it's not a good mix if he's going to be allowed to play and joke and still have, his handicapped brother and his adolescent sister fight alongside of him. It's not going to work. It's going to look like, oh, those dastardly kids spoiled my plan. Nobody wants to see that.
Yeah.
Especially for the guy who's trying to change the power hierarchy. I'm having a hard time today.
The hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change.
You don't do that by fighting a kid.
And losing.
Yeah, so I get it. I understand it. I wish there was a way that they could have worked it out instead of just axing all the projects all together.
Sure.
But I get it.
Rating?
Ooh, shit. What was the last one we did? Ant-Man?
Yep, you gave it a 6.5.
6.5. Going to give Shazam same score, 6.5. Same score. I don't feel any better or worse about this movie than I did about Multiverse of Madness. Where the hell is my mind? Then I thought about Quantumania. There were some good things. There were some positive things. I definitely was engaged for most of the movie. It wasn't boring. There were some characters that obviously will stick with me into, the coming years of this character, if there are coming years of this character in this franchise. But there were also some things that I just honestly were very cringy to me at moments. Things felt out of whack in terms of character development and didn't really know where we were going. Certain arcs felt incomplete or underdeveloped. And all in all, I just feel like we could have taken a more mature route to the sequel to this movie. Because the one thing you got to think about, how long ago did the first Shazam come out?
18, 19?
18, 19? So that's 18. That's 5 years ago, right? So if you were 12 years old when the first Shazam came out and it made you pop through your nose, well, you're 17 now, right? And you still might like some immature stuff, but it's got to be slightly better than what you did for the 12 and 13-year-olds 5 years ago.
Sure.
So, yeah, 6.5.
19.
2019, 4 years ago. Same scenario.
Still. I am going to give this a even 5. I was going to give it a 4.5, but Meagan Good bumped it right back up to a 5. I don't feel any connection to any of the characters, to be completely honest with you. And again, a lot of the plot just was all over the place. Yeah. The antagonists, all three of them, for me, to be honest with you, just didn't do it for me. I'll just be blunt about it. And then the Wonder Woman thing and the post-credit scenes, like none of that did it for me either. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 5.
Give us your thoughts. Did you see Shazam yet? If you did, give us a rating in the comments below. Also comment on some of your favorite parts of the movie. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Come back next week for John Wick, baby. John Wick 4 coming up. I'm above excited.
Yes, me too.
Like, share, and subscribe. Come back for more reviews.
And make sure you subscribe, like he said. We like to do movie reviews for all the big ones because we're definitely going to do a review for John Wick 4.
Get yourself a gun.
And then also make sure you tune into our last movie review, which was Creed 3, which we gave our ratings and thoughts on it. So make sure you check that out.